Stop waiting. Start acting. Have you ever stopped to think about how many dreams were buried with the phrase, "One day I'll start"? Have you noticed how most people keep waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal amount of money, or the magical burst of motivation that never shows up? Here's the truth, harsh but liberating. Those who wait lose. While you're overthinking, someone's taking action. While you're doubting, someone's building. And by the time you finally wake up, the spot that could have been yours is already taken. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they've mastered the art of making excuses. And you know what's worse? It sounds reasonable. You convince yourself it's better to wait until next Monday, next month, your next paycheck. But in the meantime, the most valuable asset you own, your time, is slipping right through your fingers. The world doesn't care about your intentions. It only responds to your actions. This video isn't just another motivational speech. It's a wake-up call, a mental slap of truth, a roadmap to get you out of autopilot and into the driver's seat of your real life, your financial growth, your independence, your purpose, your results. If you're tired of making promises you don't keep, if you're tired of dreaming and never doing, this is your moment to flip the switch. You're going to learn why discipline beats motivation every single time. You'll see how small, consistent steps crush big, inconsistent leaps. And most importantly, you'll understand that success doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the ones who take action, even when they're not ready. Because life doesn't wait. And luck, it only shows up for people who are already moving. So get ready, because in the next few minutes, you'll realize why stopping the wait might be the most powerful decision of your life. And more than that, you'll learn how to start today with whatever you have, wherever you are. But before we go any further, let me ask you, are you really ready to stop sabotaging yourself? Time is precious and limited. Have you ever noticed how people treat time as if it were unlimited? Like the next Monday will somehow be a magical restart button? That's one of the biggest lies holding people back from financial freedom, emotional peace, and spiritual growth. Time is the only currency you spend without even noticing. And once it's gone, there are no refunds. The clock is ticking right now, even as you watch this. And every second you waste is a second you could have invested. Learning a high-value skill, growing your financial knowledge, or building the future you dream about. There's no guaranteed later. All you really have is now. Imagine this. Every single day, you receive 86,400 Brazilian reals, 1 cent for every second. But there's one rule. Whatever you don't use disappears at midnight. Would you spend it on nonsense? Or would you make a solid financial plan and squeeze every cent for what it's worth? That's exactly how time works. And most people don't even realize they're throwing it away. Scrolling endlessly, stuck in procrastination, dreaming up projects that never leave the notebook. Now imagine if you swapped just 1 hour of Netflix for 1 hour learning how to invest or manage your money. Feels small, right? But multiply that by 365 days. That's how you create separation. That's how the gap between surviving and thriving is built. People who truly understand the value of time understand the power of daily action. 5 minutes reading about personal finance. 10 minutes reviewing your monthly budget. 15 minutes learning about passive income. These may seem like tiny steps, but they're bricks. Bricks that build castles. Bricks that build freedom. And the compound interest they generate, it's not just in the bank, it's in your life. Stop saying you don't have time. That's not your real problem. The real problem is your lack of priorities, your lack of decision. If you really want to break free from paycheck to paycheck living, if you want to stop fearing your bank app, then you need to start valuing time like the asset it is. Think about someone who lives off multiple streams of income today. I guarantee you, they didn't wait to feel motivated. They didn't wait to feel ready. They treated their time like it mattered. And that made the difference. You want to know why so many people work their entire lives and still leave nothing behind? Because they sold their time for crumbs and never stopped to ask what legacy really meant. They thought only about today's paycheck and never about building something that would last. But when you finally realize that time is limited, everything changes. You stop saying yes to distractions. You stop tolerating what doesn't move you forward. And you start building something that lasts beyond your name. That's when the magic begins. Your focus sharpens, your excuses disappear, and your future starts to take shape. Today, excuses are lies. Excuses feel sweet at first, but they're poison in the long run. They come in quietly, like a soft whisper. Not today, you're too tired. Or, now's not the right time to start that project. And before you know it, another year has passed. Here's the thing. No one is born good at making excuses, but many become experts at it. The problem? Life doesn't reward excuse makers. It rewards the ones who take action, the ones who show up, the ones who take responsibility, no matter what. Every excuse you make is one more brick in the wall between you and your goals. Financial freedom, extra income, peace of mind. They all live on the other side of that wall. Now, think. How many opportunities have you missed because you said, not now? How many great ideas stayed locked in a drawer because you were waiting for the right time? Let me tell you something no one talks about. The right time doesn't exist. What exists is the moment you decide to act. Even if you're scared, even if you don't know everything. That's where the millionaire mindset begins. With a brave yes, even when your brain is screaming later. Every excuse you eliminate opens a door. And that's not an exaggeration. It's emotional math. Let's be real. Are you in debt? Own it. Say enough. Grab a notebook. Write everything down. Make a spreadsheet. Add it all up. Start your financial plan. Account in the red? Cut unnecessary expenses now. Build your emergency fund. Cancel those subscriptions you haven't used in months. Saying, I don't have money to invest, only works until you stop buying things you don't need. From that moment on, it's about discipline, focus, and learning to live on 70% of your income. And yes, your mind will fight back. It'll come up with 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't wake up early, why you shouldn't read that book, why you shouldn't learn about finances, why you shouldn't make that one phone call that could change everything. Why? Because excuses are comfortable. They require no courage, no effort, no decision. But you know what else they don't bring? Results. Excuses keep you stuck. Or worse, drag you backwards. And this affects everything. Your saving habits, your spending, your financial education, and above all, your belief in yourself. So next time you say, I didn't have time, understand, that's not a reason. It's a choice. Excuses don't protect you. They keep you small. They sabotage your greatness. Slowly, silently, like a thief stealing your best years. In the end, you either have results or you have excuses. You can't carry both. But the moment you realize that, a different kind of energy wakes up inside you. Something powerful. Something that pulls you forward. And that, my friend, is when discipline starts to reveal its true power. Discipline is more powerful than motivation. Motivation is like coffee, warm, delicious, and short-lived. It gives you a quick boost, but vanishes at the first sign of challenge. Discipline? That's a whole different story. Discipline is cold, quiet, uncomfortable, but it's loyal. It's what gets you to study personal finance when your bed feels like heaven. It's what keeps you moving when no one's watching, when the likes aren't coming, when fatigue wraps around you like a blanket. The difference between those who dream of financial freedom and those who achieve it? Discipline. The daily repetition of what needs to be done, not just what you feel like doing. Think of building a wealthy mindset, like building a muscle. You don't get strong from one motivational video. You get strong by showing up on good days and on bad ones, too. It's waking up and reviewing your budget. Even when you don't see results yet, it's setting up automatic savings. Even if it feels like a small amount, it's pushing past, I don't feel like it, and sticking to what matters. Want real-life examples? Discipline is reading 10 pages of a book like The Richest Man in Babylon or Rich Dad, Poor Dad every day, even when your brain says not today. It's tracking your expenses daily, even when money's tight. It's investing 10% of your income, even if it seems like pennies. It's sticking to your plan, even when no one's clapping for you. Here's the truth. Those who reap the biggest rewards are the ones who plant in silence, water with discipline, and harvest with gratitude. Discipline doesn't need motivation. It needs a reason. And when your why is strong, the how doesn't matter. Your child, your future, your financial independence, your desire to stop surviving and start living. That's the fuel. But without discipline, it's just wasted energy. And what good is energy without direction? Financial discipline lets you say no today so you can say yes tomorrow with power. It frees you from emotional spending and makes you the driver of your destiny. Discipline is waking up when your body begs for 5 more minutes. It's saying no to impulsive purchases even if your credit card says yes. It's staying focused on the process. Because real growth, the kind that lasts, is invisible. It happens in the routine, in the repetition, in the daily action. And that's where financial success is born, far from the spotlight. Now tell me, are you ready to practice the discipline that will transform your life? Because the next step isn't some grand leap. It's small, and it's done every single day. The power of small, consistent steps. Everybody wants big results, but very few are willing to take small steps. That's where most people go wrong. They want to lose 20 pounds without changing their breakfast. They want to build an empire, but won't even save $5 a day. They want to earn more, but won't spend 15 minutes learning about money. The truth? If you want extraordinary results, you have to start with the ordinary. The secret is in the small things, in the action that seems pointless today, but becomes a miracle tomorrow. It's the small, consistent steps that build the road to financial freedom. You've heard of the airplane that changes course by just 1 degree, right? Seems like nothing at first, but after a few hundred miles, it lands in a completely different place. Life works the same way. Swapping soda for water sounds small, but after a few months, your body thanks you. Tracking your spending in a notebook might feel silly, but soon you'll spot the patterns draining your bank account. And clarity? Clarity is power. A single dollar managed well is worth more than 10 wasted blindly. And yes, this applies to your finances too. Start saving 10% of your income. Can't do that yet? Start with 1%. But start. Set up automatic transfers. Make it a habit. Little by little, that becomes your emergency fund. Later, part of it becomes your passive income. Over time, compound interest starts working in your favor. Never underestimate the power of quiet repetition. Those who do a lot occasionally will always lose to those who do a little consistently. Daily, simple, consistent action. That's how you build solid wealth. Want to change your life for real? Live by the principle of 1% better every day. Read a page. Study one new strategy. Spend 10 minutes watching an educational video. YouTube can either entertain you or enrich you. It depends on how you use it. Follow pages that teach investing. Watch videos on entrepreneurship. Learn one high-value skill every week. It may feel slow at first, but when you look back, you'll be blown away by how far you've come. You know why most people quit? Because they expect instant wins. And when they don't happen, they give up. But nature doesn't work like that. A tree doesn't bear fruit the day after it's planted. Winners understand that time is a teammate. And those who plant with discipline harvest with abundance. The beauty of small steps? They're available to everyone. You just have to choose them. And sooner than you think, your results start to change. Because your routine changed. And where will that take you next? Greatness is built in the routine. Here's a truth most people are afraid to admit. Your routine shapes your destiny. It's not the big, one-time effort that transforms a life. It's the small, consistent effort, repeated over and over. The person who reaches financial freedom didn't get there by luck or natural talent. They got there by choosing every single day to spend less than they earn, to invest in themselves, and to stay focused on their long-term vision. It's like sharpening an axe. You don't need to bring the tree down in one swing, but you do need to keep swinging. Routine is what builds a millionaire mindset, and it's also what destroys those who live on autopilot. If you want personal growth, lasting wealth, and real success, you need to embrace one thing: The extraordinary is built inside the ordinary. When you wake up early despite being tired, when you review your financial plan without anyone asking, when you choose to study investing while others scroll mindlessly, that's when you're setting yourself apart. And here's the funny part. No one sees it. No one claps for it. No one gets it. But in the future, everyone will want to know how you did it. And the answer will be simple. Self-discipline, consistency, a sacred routine. The right routine protects you. It gives you structure. It keeps you grounded on the hard days. And trust me, those days will come. When they do, you'll need habits strong enough to hold your mind together. Wake up and follow your productivity ritual. Review your goals. Reassess your expenses. Refine your financial strategy. That's your armor against chaos. Want a practical example? Make it a habit to review your numbers every Sunday. How much you spent, how much you earned, where you can improve. A simple ritual, but one that prevents disaster and pulls you closer to financial independence. The right routine also teaches you to value the invisible. You know that feeling of, I'm doing everything but nothing's changing? That's exactly when the game is being won. Because healthy financial habits, just like mental ones, work like seeds. What you plant in silence will one day bloom for the world to see. Staying consistent with no applause, that's resilience. And resilient people build legacies. Legacies that your kids, your partner, your friends will remember. That's generational wealth in action. Today's world glorifies speed, but underestimates repetition. Everyone wants to sprint, but few are willing to walk steadily. And yet, it's a steady walk that builds a road. Your routine is your temple. It's where your values are forged, your actions are carried out, and your future is planted. And when you feel tired, when you want to quit, remember, that's the very moment most people give up. But those who hold steady, those who keep walking when it gets hard, they're the ones about to uncover a secret about failure that most never will. Failure is not the end. Failure hurts. It wounds your pride, your confidence, your will to keep going. But here's a truth no one wants to hear. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a path to it. The greatest names in history failed before they ever won. Edison failed over 9,000 times before lighting a bulb. Walt Disney was rejected for having no imagination. And you? Are you going to quit because an investment went wrong? Because your side hustle hasn't taken off yet? The difference between the loser and the winner is simple. Winners turn every fall into a stepping stone. Failure, as painful as it is a disguised gift. It's a universe saying, not like this, try again. Every mistake, no matter how awkward, is a free mentor. If you fail to organize your finances, that's okay. Maybe your system just didn't work for you. Change the method, not the goal. Try a simple spreadsheet. Use an app like Mobiles or Organize, or just grab a notebook. What matters is that you keep trying, because every try leads you closer to financial self-awareness. You didn't fail because you didn't save money last month. You simply found a way that doesn't work for you. Yet, now tweak it. Try automating your savings with scheduled transfers. Little strategies like that reduce the friction between you and the habit. And if it still goes wrong, even better. Now you know what to adjust. Budgeting is like building muscle. It strains, it fails, it hurts, then it strengthens. Failure, in this case, is your financial discipline's personal trainer. The problem is, most people see failure as a period, when really it's just a comma, a pause, an invitation to evolve. How many give up on entrepreneurship after one flop? How many bury their dream of living off passive income after one failed project? What they don't realize is that failure came to teach them how to build better foundations. The process is more important than the instant reward. And failure? Failure is the most honest teacher you'll ever meet. If you're reading this in the middle of the fall, good. You're right where you need to be to grow. Breathe, reset, redirect. Because failure doesn't define you. It prepares you. And if you keep going, even imperfectly, You'll realize that everything that once felt like the end was really just the beginning of your new version. And that version will be capable of something even greater. Build a legacy. Everyone leaves something behind. Some leave debt, others leave stories. But few leave a legacy. And a legacy, my friend, isn't about how much you earned. It's about the impact you made. Legacy is what lives on after you stop. It's your child learning financial discipline because they watch you track expenses. It's a friend who started an emergency fund because of a Sunday conversation. It's the silent transformation you spark without even realizing it. And that's worth more than any inheritance. Building a legacy begins with the smallest daily actions. When you teach your child to save part of what they earn, you're planting the seed of financial culture. When you share the book that opened your mind to financial freedom, you multiply the power of knowledge. You don't need to be rich to leave a legacy. You just need a rich mindset. And that starts with one thing: being the example. You don't teach by what you say. You teach by how you live. Your habits speak louder than any words. So many people stress about the assets they'll leave behind. But real generational wealth doesn't begin at the lawyer's office. It starts with your philosophy about money, how you earn, save, spend, and share. Legacy is when your daughter values every dollar, not because you told her to, but because she saw you live it with discipline and clarity. It's when your grandkids say, "Grandpa taught me to invest in myself." That has no price. Creating a legacy takes daily action, yes, but it also takes vision. The vision that your story doesn't end with you. And if you're thinking, "But I haven't even started my financial journey. How can I leave a legacy?" Here's the truth. It's not about where you are. It's about the direction you're heading. The moment you decide to invest in yourself, to change habits, to get out of debt, and to design a new path, you're already writing a new chapter. Legacy begins with your first no to the unnecessary, your first yes to your child's education, your first handwritten long-term plan. Small beginnings, big destinations. You've heard the saying, people won't remember your bank balance. And maybe that's true, but they will remember your courage to start again, your productivity, your fire when talking about the future. They'll remember your consistency, your resilience, your commitment to what really matters. Because legacy isn't built in a hurry, but it is destroyed by neglect. Those who avoid responsibility erase their own impact, but those who take the wheel, they're ready. Because the real battle isn't with others, it's with the person you were yesterday. The real battle, you versus you. The hardest fight isn't against the economy, the government, or a lack of opportunity. The toughest battle happens in silence, when no one is watching. It's you versus you. It's the lazy version that wants to stay in bed against the driven version that wants to change your life. It's the sabotaging voice justifying that impulsive purchase, while your conscience whispers, this is pulling you away from financial freedom. The biggest obstacle between you and wealth isn't out there. It's in the mirror. And until you face that truth head on, every plan will be silently sabotaged from within. How many times have you been your own worst enemy? Made promises you didn't keep? Set goals you abandoned halfway? This war is sneaky. It starts with a just for today and ends with a whatever. But those who develop self-mastery win. Those who choose the pain of effort over the pain of regret build a new identity, a new self. You don't have to win every day. You just have to show up and fight every day. Because persistence is invincible. And it's the beating heart of a true winner's mindset. You want to apply what you've learned about financial education? You want to change your financial reality? Then you need to know yourself. You need to know when your mind is lying to you, when it says, buy it, you deserve it, even though it leads straight into debt. When it whispers, you'll never earn more, just because you haven't built multiple income streams yet. The secret is to recognize these patterns and replace them. Create new rituals, reading, reflection, planning. Build an environment where your stronger self can thrive. Here's the brutal truth. This fight has no audience. No one will applaud you for resisting a temptation. No one sees when you skip the new phone to invest in a course. But this battlefield is where your future is defined. When you learn to defeat yourself, you begin to build something that lasts. Because this isn't a battle for vanity. It's a fight for legacy, for purpose, for peace. Each victory over your old self makes you stronger. And each time you choose action over excuse, you flip the switch on an entire life. So now that you know this fight is real and that you can win it, let me ask you, what's stopping you from acting today? Fear? Laziness? Doubt? Those are monsters. They're messages. They're invitations to rise. If you ignore them, you'll repeat another wasted year. But if you face them, you'll unlock a power you didn't know was there. Because real transformation begins the moment you stop running and start doing. The final truth. What will you do with this? So here it is, the moment of truth. After everything you've just heard, will you keep waiting? Will you let another day slip by, telling yourself it's not the right time yet? Or will you finally choose to live with purpose, with strategy, with vision? Life doesn't wait, time doesn't forgive, and dreams don't build themselves. They require action. They demand decisions. They ask of you the one thing no one else can give, your commitment. So stop and reflect. Of everything you've just heard, what will you apply today? Will you review your expenses? Start building your emergency fund? Set aside 10 minutes to study investing? Teach your kids something valuable? Take full responsibility for your future? Or will you close this video and go back to living on autopilot? You now have the knowledge. But what matters is what you do with it. Don't wait for motivation. It fades. Wait for results and build them with discipline. Use this video as your turning point. Save it. Rewatch it whenever you feel like giving up. And most importantly, share it with someone who needs this message. Sometimes, all it takes is one voice to change someone's path. And now, I want to invite you to continue this journey with me. Because here on this channel, we don't just talk about theory, we live transformation. So, if you want to learn more about financial freedom, rich mindset, powerful habits, and legacy building, subscribe now. Hit the bell. Every week, you'll find new content, clear, practical, and straight to the point. Let's build this together. Because the world is full of dreamers, but only a few actually build. Which side are you on?